Good morning. I am just going to test some audio here, which actually I'm not sure is working. If you're here, hello. Give me just a moment here. To see what's, yeah. It's not working. The audio's not working. We're gonna just,
what about this? Try the computer audio here and see if that's gonna work. It didn't work either. Test. Oh, shoot. You know why? Actually, if somebody could comment in the... sorry. I actually think I know what might be going on.
It's because when this is in, I can't hear through my computer. So let me check through my iPad. I apologize, guys. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me before we get going. So if you can hear me, if you can comment in the comments, let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear. There we go. Sorry about that. Always got to check and make sure. I don't like moving on until I know for sure that audio is working. So good morning. Thank you for being here. Thanks for commenting. Audio is working. Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to our mini writing retreat. We do these every other Saturday morning. We spend a couple hours dedicated to our creativity because it can be really hard to find time to write and create throughout the week. So we set aside a couple of hours on a Saturday morning to do that. And we kick it off with a little quick, easy yoga flow to get the brain and body moving. Because I do believe, and part of the Creative Warrior brand is using yoga and using activity and movement to feel more creative. And I believe that yoga helps with that. So that's why we do what we do here at Creative Warrior. Because we believe you need to fight for your creativity. You can't just sit around and wait for it to show up. So again, thank you for joining. I love my setup this morning. We've got the sun finally coming through. It's like almost like a little rainbow here. I don't know how long that will last, but hey, perfect way to practice a little yoga this morning. We try to keep the yoga flows very beginner friendly. But if there is anything that doesn't feel right in your body, or you're just like, no way, I cannot do that, it's fine. Just find a position or a pose that does work for you and just breathe. Breathing deeply, bringing oxygen to the brain and body is also a great way to wake up and get a little energy for your writing. So we're going to start seated. You don't need a mat, but we probably are going to be on our in tabletop on our hands and knees here for a little bit. So if you have wood floors or something, you just might need some sort of cushioning underneath you. A towel or something like that works as well. So don't feel like you can't do yoga with us if you don't have a mat. Just find something that works for you. And it doesn't matter if you're in yoga clothes or in your pajamas, or something you wouldn't consider, traditional yoga clothes. If you can move in them, you can wear them. So, all right, we're going to start seated today in a cross-legged position if that works for you. If cross-legged is not comfortable, you can stretch your legs out in front of you, or you can just kind of widen your cross-legged by moving your feet farther out in front of you. They don't have to be pulled back toward your body. First thing in the morning, cross-legged is, you can definitely feel how stiff I am first thing when I come into a cross-legged, but it does slowly start to open up here. So we'll just find a nice comfortable seat, start to slow down. If you've kind of had to rush through your morning to get here, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. But now is the time when we can take a couple of moments to just slow down. So we start by doing that. Start doing that by taking a couple of breaths, deep breaths in through the nose, and sighing out through the mouth. If you've been rushing and haven't taken a moment to do that yet this morning, it will probably feel really good. One more time, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And as you continue to breathe, don't lose sight of the breath, but we are going to bring a little attention to our body and to our posture here in our seated position. So we're going to sit in a head over heart, heart over pelvis position. Lost the words there for a second. So we can come into that. So we don't want to be kind of hunched forward. We don't, if that's the only way that works in your body, just do your best to kind of bring some mindfulness to the body starting at the seat. We're just going to press the seat into the earth. You can feel your sits bones pressing into the earth, moving up through the core. We're going to engage the core by just pulling the belly button up and back toward the spine. And even there, you already, just by doing that simple little movement, start to sit a little taller. So you don't have to, we're not like working on the abs or trying to get a six-pack, but that core engagement is really important in supporting the body. So pulling the belly button up and back, up. We move up to the shoulders, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears, the shoulder blades down the back together. By pulling the shoulder blades together, we open the shoulders up to bring some length through the neck and the spine. We can just imagine there's a string attached to the top of our heads, pulling it up toward the ceiling very gently. And there we go. We have a little more engagement through the core, a very intentional posture here this morning instead of just hanging out. And if we don't sit like this very often, you're going to feel it right away. Some muscles might be engaged that don't normally engage. Might start to get a little shaky. It's okay. That is strength building and energy starting to flow through the body. So just let your hands rest wherever they feel comfortable. Really bring attention to that posture. If you do feel yourself kind of start to disengage, just use a breath to come back to the body and the breath. So we'll take a couple more breaths here together, in through the nose, really feeling the chest expand, the lungs expand, and out through the mouth. Might even feel the shoulders drop a little bit, relax with the exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And if we are doing something at any time that doesn't feel great in your body, you can always just come back to that breath, that deep inhale. Really feeling the whole body expand as you invite oxygen in. And the exhale as you just let something, anything go. And we'll start to move a little here. So we're just going to drop the right hand to the mat, beside us, next to our hips, and inhale that left arm up toward the ceiling, reaching the fingertips up toward the sky. And on an exhale, just reaching that left arm up and over toward the right side of the mat, bending that right elbow just slightly as we start to stretch through the waist, bend at the waist, keeping that left knee heavy so that it's pulling toward the mat, keeping that left buttock pressed into the mat for a counter stretch. Breathing here. Still trying to keep engagement through the core. Inhale. And exhale. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. And then on the inhale, reaching the left arm up. Coming back to center. Exhale, let the left hand drop to the mat beside us. Inhale, reach the right arm up toward the sky. Fingertips reaching toward the ceiling. And exhale, reaching the right arm up and over to the left side of the mat, pressing the right knee toward the mat. Just a direction, it doesn't have to touch. Feeling a stretch through the right side of the body. Inhale. And exhale, sink a little deeper. And inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop that right hand back to the mat. We'll do that one more time with the breath. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, let that hand fall. Inhale, bring the right arm up. Exhale, reach up and over to the left side of the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the right hand back to the mat. This time on an inhale, we'll bring both hands up to the sky, reaching up and over, or up. And on the exhale, twisting to the right, turning the chest toward the right side of the mat, reaching the right arm behind us, bringing the left hand to the right knee for a little twist. Twisting as much as feels comfortable. If it feels good to you, you can look over your right shoulder or just to the right side of the mat. Inhale, maybe invite a little length through the spine, lifting the head toward the ceiling, top of the head. And exhale, sink, twist a little deeper, but only as much as feels comfortable to you. Don't force it. And then inhale, back to center, reaching the arms up toward the sky. Exhale, twisting to the left side of the mat, bringing the left arm behind us, left fingertips, can touch the earth, kind of walk behind us. Right hand to that left knee. Gazing out over that left shoulder or just to the left side of the mat. Inhale, invite some length. Exhale, twist a little deeper. And on the next inhale, coming back to center, reaching the fingertips up, really reaching through the fingertips. And exhale, letting the hands fall beside us. And now we're going to move to our hands and knees, so a tabletop position. Slowly, mindfully, you can just get there in a way that feels good to you. Coming to tabletop, we stretch our fingertips wide, our fingers wide, our fingertips, bringing the wrists below the shoulders and the knees below the hips, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Starting in a neutral spine, engaging that core again here, finding that connection, stretching the top of the head, this time out in front of us. If being on the wrists like this or the hands is a little too much, you can always make a fist and press down into the mat at the top of the fist. So you can try it one way, and if it just gets to be too much, you can always shift to the fists. And then we're going to start to move through cat-cow. So on an inhale, I'm going to lift the chin, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. It's almost like we're trying to get the tailbone to touch the back of the head. We're bringing them toward each other, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, still engaging that core, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, pressing away from the mat. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest, rounding the back, pulling the pelvis forward. Releasing everything, still pressing away from the mat. And moving through those two poses in a way that feels good for you, at a pace that feels good with your own breath. Inhale. Open the shoulders, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, drop the chin, round the back, pressing away from the mat. If one pose feels better than the other, you can stay there for a couple of breaths. I'm going to make this your own. Move in a way that your body needs. But remember to breathe, keep the breath flowing with each movement. Couple more. Finishing up your next round, we'll meet back in a neutral spine. And then from here, press that left hand into the mat. You can come up on the fists at this point if you need to, or you can just take a second to roll out the wrists. Give them a little break. And then we're going to reach the right arm forward, reaching the fingertips toward whatever's in front of us, out ahead of us, and then pressing into that left hand and the right knee. We're going to lift the left leg out behind us, keeping the toes pointed down toward the earth. So finding just a little center connection here, core connection to keep us stable. We'll reach ahead of us and reach that heel behind us, really stretching through the body. And we'll inhale to reach and exhale. Bring that knee and that elbow toward each other through center here. And then inhale. Or if that's too much, if that balance doesn't quite work for you, you can just stay here, or you can work on moving the right arm toward the right side of the mat and the left foot toward the left side of the mat. So you're just kind of opening them from away from the center of the body, whatever works for you. One more time, bringing the elbow and the knee to the center of the body. Inhale. Reach. Exhale. Contract one more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Release everything back to the mat. Shake out your hands, whatever you need to do. And we'll shift it to the other side. Pressing into that right hand. Reaching the left arm forward. Left fingertips ahead of us. Lifting that right leg, pressing that right heel behind us, reaching through that left hand. Finding connection in our center, pulling that belly button back to engage the core. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Contract bring the elbow and the knee together in the center of the body. Inhale, reach, doing whatever poses or whatever movement feels good to you here. Maybe you're just stretching or staying in the stretch. Exhale to center. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull through the center. And inhale, reach. Exhale, release everything back to center. And then because we need a little inversion here, we need to rush some blood to the brain before we get going, we're going to come into down dog for just a few breaths here. So you can tuck those toes behind you. Inhale, lift the knees up off the mat. Maybe hover for just a second. And exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs. Coming into down dog, letting the heels fall toward the mat. They don't have to touch. Letting the head hang. Pressing the fingers into the mat. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And maybe here you can invite a little movement by walking your dog, pressing one heel toward the earth to straightening that leg. And then the other, bending one leg, and then the other. Feeling that rush of blood, of energy toward the brain. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And on the next inhale, we'll bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, release the knees to the mat. We'll come into a child's pose here, whatever feels best for you. If you'd like to keep the knees together, come into a traditional child's pose, or open them as wide as the yoga mat for extended, and then just walk the hands out in front of us, or they can lay beside us, letting the forehead release to the mat. Maybe walking the fingertips as far out ahead of you as you can for a little stretch through the shoulders before we stop. Pause in our movement here. Maybe give yourself a forehead massage. If you're in an extended child's pose, a little movement might give a little massage to the top of the hip flexors or the hip flexors. Take one inhale here wherever you are. Really, really deep inhale, expanding through the chest, the lungs, filling the lungs. And exhale. Release everything. Release anything you need to release before we move into our writing portion. And take a couple moments in stillness here. But we don't want to stay still too long. We want to take the energy we just built up to our creative projects. So just pull up away from the mat. Whatever feels good to you. Maybe roll out the shoulders a little bit, and we're going to take just a few moments here to reposition ourselves. I'm going to get to my desk, get some water, get some coffee, whatever you need for your writing session, and we will write. So take a couple minutes to reposition, get what you need, and we will meet back here, and we will do a couple of writing sprints.
All right. Welcome back. We are hopefully all settled. Got your coffee, got your water, got your computer, whatever you will be using to write this morning. So we are going to, right, perfect. My sound is still working. And we're going to take some time to focus on our writing through some dedicated writing sprints. So we'll write in 25-minute sprints. I have a timer. I'll have a timer up on the screen. So you don't need to worry about time. All you need to do is worry about writing. And you can let us know in the chat what you are working on this morning, what creative projects, any challenges you might be facing. We're always happy to spend a little time in the chat offering suggestions, feedback, if you have particular challenges you're facing, or you just want to vent about the writing process itself, because it can be infuriating, I feel like is a good word for it. So you are in a space with people who understand the challenges that you're facing. That's why we do this. That's why we form this community and get together and write like this, so that you can be surrounded by people who understand the process and the challenges of the process. So all that to say, let's take a little time to write. So again, if you're here and you haven't yet, say hey, let us know what you're working on in the chat. But I'm going to push play on our first writing sprint, and then we break, touch base if we need to, chat a little, and we'll jump back into another sprint. So that is how this is going to work. Oh, I also have a prompt. If you are feeling particularly stuck, if you don't have anything specific that you're working on and you just want to write anything, this prompt can help. The storm cleared and she found it. ... There you go. If you need a little help, not sure what you want to write about, there you go. Little prompt for you. The storm cleared and she found it. If you're stuck in a particular place in what you are working on, maybe that can help clear the way for another plot point, another plot twist. Whatever, use it however you will, however you want, or don't. It is there if you need it. So we're going to set our timer. I will mute so I'm not distracting you, or noises around here are not distracting you. And yeah, feel free to chat in the chat, or we will see you in about 25 minutes starting now. All right, friends, that is the end of our first writing sprint. Well done. If you stayed focused that whole time on your work without bouncing off to something else or checking Facebook or checking other things, good for you. If you didn't, it's all right. There's another sprint coming up. 25 minutes, I think, is a great amount of time to fully focus. I think after that, we start to get a little anxious, maybe, to start to check things, to move on to something else, to take a break. So 25 minutes, I think, is the Pomodoro technique uses too. So hopefully you are able to stay focused. I still find myself kind of wandering a little bit, even in 25 minutes, but it's like anything else. It's an exercise. You need to train your brain to stay focused for that amount of time. And the more you do it, the more it'll happen. So hope that was successful. Sprint. Let us know any challenges you may have come across in the comments. If you used the prompt, feel free to share any sections of what you worked on. I am also I'm working on editing some pieces for a collection that I would like to release very soon, a short story collection. More information on that if you follow me on social media, author Allison Spooner. Separate from my Creative Warrior stuff, I also write. So I share and publish stuff about my writing under author Allison Spooner. So we will just hop into another sprint here. We've got time for a couple more. Peter Pan is separate. That will also be released this year. I'm going to keep saying it. If I keep saying it, it will happen. Peter Pan's probably going to be closer to the end of the year. But because I'm me and I like to just do ridiculous things, I'm also going to try to publish another collection of short stories. So we'll see. I've been sitting on these stories for a while, so they're there. I just need to put some final touches on them and get them released. So 2 books this year, maybe. Nothing for 3 years and, 2 books in a year. Why not? That's how I roll. Anywho. But yeah, I am releasing a Peter Pan novel, Peter Pan adjacent novel, this year. Hopefully it's going to be toward the end of the year probably, but, yes. And if you want more information on that, I will put a link to my email list and you can sign up for my email list and I will be posting updates there. So I will do that. I will put a link in the comments and then we will start another sprint. Can continue to chat in the comments about anything you have coming up. If you have anything exciting in your writing journey coming up, feel free to share in the comments. We would love to hear it. This is the space to share all your wins, all the things that you're excited about, because we are your people. We are the people that will be excited with you. So put those in the comments. I will share a link where you can get updates on Peter Pan. It's not called Peter Pan. I shouldn't say that. On The Lost Girl. It is called The Lost Girl. It is a Neverland adventure. So there we go. Let's jump in to another sprint. Of course, keep chatting in the comments if you would like. We are going to do another 25 minutes and then we'll touch base again and take a break, see how it's going, and go from there. So, and do one more sprint. I think we'll probably have time for one more after that. So here we go. 25 minutes starting now. All right, that was a quick one. Another 25-minute writing sprint. Done, wrapped. We have one more for the day. Time for one more before we wrap up this mini writing retreat, this creativity session. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Let me know how it's been going in the comments. If you made some progress, if you didn't, if you got stuck, let us know and we can do our best to help. Hello, welcome. If you're just jumping on, we are doing a creative writing session, a mini writing retreat. So 3 25-minute writing sessions. We just wrapped up one and are about to start another, our last of the day. We do these every other Saturday. So we won't be here next week, but we'll be back the next. And actually, please note, I actually need to change this in my live videos. Please note that next week we will be doing this on a Sunday. I have a book event on Saturday. So our next writing session will be March 26th. Same time, same place, different day. And we'll make sure to change the date on my scheduled writing sessions that I have coming up. But if you're here, please note next session, March 26th, a Sunday, rather than a Saturday. So if Saturdays are challenging for you, maybe Sunday will work better. And you can share, let your friends know that we'll be here. We'll be back. So we're going to start our last writing session here, last writing sprint here in just a moment. But please let know if you have any questions. If you're just jumping on, feel free to introduce yourself. Say hey, let us know what you're working on, what creative projects you are working on. We would love to hear it and love to get to know you. So feel free to do that in the comments. We're going to start our third and final sprint. We'll be back here the 26th. So we'll connect again before we end for the day. But I'm gonna go ahead and start our third and final sprint for the day. So here we go, 25 minutes of writing time starting now. All right, friends, that is the end of our final writing session, writing sprint, and the end of our session for today. Another mini writing retreat wrapped up. Another morning of dedicating time to your creativity. Awesome job, everyone, for being here, setting aside time to dedicate to your creative projects, and for yourself, frankly. So these are the things that feed us as artists, as creatives. So it's really important that we set aside time to feed them, to dedicate time to those things. And then that will fuel us for the rest of the things we need to do in everyday life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for dedicating time to your creativity and your projects. We will be back here for a session like this on the 26th, but we're here every Wednesday morning for a 1-hour writing session. So no yoga, just writing, 2 writing sprints, 7:30 a.m. EST, Eastern Time to 8:30. So just 1 hour in the middle of the week, just in case it gets to be Wednesday and you haven't had any time to write. Wednesday morning, set aside 1 hour and dedicate some time to your creativity. So again, thank you so much for being here. Please note the change time for our next session will be on a Sunday, and continue to fight for your creativity through the week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Now go fight for your creativity. Bye.